as I looked at it, I said, you know, what was so significant is I guess like you guys to me are like dream makers. Any Titan that played after you or even to come, you know, can now know that it's possible to not only get an NCAA tournament, but also to win. You didn't have that picture in front of you as a player, but they have that now. Coach Alexander though, can sell that. I think the other thing is that because of the success that you had, it made it probably fathomable that a Willie Green can realize that he could not only be successful as a player, but be a winner, and I still might can reach my dreams as being an NBA player.
Yeah, I remember a great team that had a great coach, worked hard, and had a vision to accomplish, championship not only in the division but also to make it to the NCAA tournament. So it was fond memories. I learned a lot. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Just truthfulness, loyalty, hard work, happiness. Guys have fun, had each other back. I mean, some guys be down some days in practice. Everybody pick them up. It was a picker-upper situation, and like Coach said, we was dream makers.
The team, how we all had different backgrounds. Came to the city, really appreciate the value that Coach Watson brought, the tradition here, the alumni, all that stuff, the rich tradition that we kind of carried on our shoulders as a sense of pride, right?
Just the camaraderie that I had with my teammates. It was a very fun, memorable experience to be able to have. The brotherhood that we shared, the fantastic coaches, but not only that, the student body that accepted us, that cheered us on, that was always just giving us that extra push to become ultimate champions.
At the end of the day, we were a team. We played as a team. It wasn't no individual. It was just team, and we played for each other. Outside the basketball court, we were still together, and you can see 20 years from now, we still are together.
Well, we knew what time it was. We knew we was going to be in. I mean, that's why we was there. I mean, you got to understand, Perry Watson was a mentor, a coach, a father. He was a counselor in high school. He wasn't going to have us sitting there Selection Sunday if he didn't know that we were going.
Oh man, it was a good period. We knew we were going to get in, right? It was just about where we were going to get seated. We lost to Michigan by 1 point at the last second shot that year. We went to Cincinnati and kind of lost that one. But other than that, we kind of ran the table, and we knew we should have got a higher seed. I was kind of disappointed. We should have got a higher seed. But, we did well. We got there. We beat St. John's, and then we lost to Purdue that next round.
I strongly believe that we was going to get a bid in because we beat Michigan State. We beat a lot of good teams that year. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we only lost to Michigan by 1 point. We beat all the other Michigan teams. The only team we didn't play at the time who we wanted was Eastern Michigan. And I knew that we was going to get in. And then at the time, the MCC, the league was strong. We had 2 other teams make it that year. So we knew we were destined to do some stuff in the tournament.
When we found out, it was kind of a surreal feeling, especially for me. And just us being in there, too, it was very surreal. Just bringing back that type of love back to Detroit.
For me, it was very nostalgic because, you grow up loving basketball, loving the NCAA tournament, and so now we're sitting in the room on edge waiting, knowing that we deserve to be in the tournament, knowing as a mid-major that we could beat any team on a neutral floor.
Obviously, we were anxious because of being a mid-major. And we knew that we had the wins definitely on the away courts that should qualify us, but you couldn't take it for granted. And you look back at this league, and I don't know mid-major leagues that ever got 3 teams in the tournament.
We knew, again, Detroit was one of the Mecca basketball cities in the country, and it was New York against Detroit, and Detroit had the upper hand that day,
going into the game was we were going in to win, and we were going in to win many games in the tournament and go deep in the tournament, and that was the the mindset that Coach Watson installed in us. So that's wonderful to have that mindset when you hadn't made it to a tournament so many years before that, and then you go in there like you're supposed to win the NCAA championship.
See, with this team, we didn't care who we played against. That was one thing, that whoever was in front of us, we're going to play you. Whether we win or lose, we're going to play Detroit Titan way. So I didn't know about Felipe Lopez. I didn't know about Zendon Hamilton. Ron Artest was on that team. So I didn't know nothing about these guys. You know what I'm saying? Never followed them. I just knew that was New York versus Detroit and who was going to win that battle. And that's how we approached it. Like, Detroit basketball was better. And on that particular night, we were better.
We all were competitors, and we never really thought that any team was better than us. So we just came out and played every game just like it was our last. So we never really looked at whether or not we had something special. We just competed. We just pushed each other, and I think everything else took care of itself.
Coach Watson is legendary. His name should be shrink wrapped on the building, on the court, on the seats, in the hallways, because he represented more than just the NCAAs and the winning and being second-time all-time winningest coach. He groomed boys into men. And I just felt that, for all of us to be gathered here tonight, majority of the team was able to make it in, sharing memories, the fact that guys are still in the room, the program was over an hour ago. It just speaks to the feelings that we have for Coach Watson, and we still love him to this day. Glad to see he's healthy and doing well.
Was a phenomenal person and helped us all grow in our own ways and take our own paths in life. Many of our teammates have become coaches, successful coaches. Some of us have went on in entrepreneurship and in business, and that stems from somewhere. And I attribute a lot of that to him. And the work efforts and the work ethics that he's installed in us. So it was wonderful, and he means a lot not only to this team but this program and this school.
Coach Watson is a legend. I mean, I kind of knew about Coach Watson coming up through high school. The fact that he spent time at Michigan, and I felt honored and lucky enough to be Coach Watson's first recruit here at the University of Detroit. So the special thing about Coach Watson is he was not only a coach, but he really cared about his players off of the court. And, he taught all of us life skills other than basketball that we still use today. So Coach Watson is a special guy, and to all of us.